throughout Spider-Man's reign over comics, it's very well known that Aunt May is one of the key supporting characters in his universe.
Yeah, she's kind of like his moral compass, the first person he turns to when all his chips are down and everything in his life is going wrong.
But it just seems like over the last, I'd say 20 years or so.
Maybe we could just, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we could just get rid of her.
No, literally. I don't know. It's almost like she's an all-powerful entity of the Marvel Universe that just can't die.
It's kind of exhausting to keep seeing her, like, get sick, get a heart attack, fake die, come back, be replaced by, like, genetically modified actresses. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together, we're the Comic Lads. And today, we're talking about, can Aunt May just die already?
No, please, dude. It's been too long. She needs to go. But before we get into it, guys, we want to hear from you. Question of the week. Do you think Aunt May should die? We really want to know because...
Are we just like sick?
I know.
Like sick fucks over here?
We know this is a divisive topic, so we really want to hear from you guys. Comment down below.
And before we get started, guys, make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Become one of the lads.
Become a fellow lad. Let's do this. Okay, so dude, this problem I feel like goes all the way back to like the conception of Spider-Man and Aunt May and that whole universe. Even from the beginning, Aunt May has always been depicted as like an old frail.
Yeah, as like having like 9 out of 10 toes out of the door already.
No, literally. Like she looks ancient when we first see her in the OG Steve Ditko Lee era comics.
Yeah, and then she already looks ancient from her inception. And then you get to the 90s where she's being drawn by Mark Bagley and Eric Larson, and she looks like a mummy.
No, literally. No, like she looks like someone like shrunk her head. Like she's a shrunken head.
Lord lady at 12 o'clock. Like how can you move around and like live?
I know. And like ever since then, you know, she's depicted as like the oldie of the Spider-Man character roster. And she's always just like, not only is she old, but she's always sick, dude.
Always having heart attacks.
So she's always like on the brink of death.
Yeah.
And I know it's like to do with the storytelling and to create kind of like drama in Peter's personal life and trying to juggle it with Spider-Man and all that. But like after the 5th heart attack, that's
exhausting.
No, it's like, dude.
You're like, just make up your mind already.
I get it!
I know. It's so weird because even as new writers have come in and new artists have come in, it seems like they've tried to like...
They've revitalized her for sure. They've definitely started depicting her as not being 95 years old.
And it is nice that she's not like senile anymore. Like in the you know what I mean? Like, no, but like in the 60s comics, you can tell that she's not all there.
Come on, yes she is.
No, she isn't, dude. No, she still treats Peter like he's a little baby, you know?
He's her son.
Yeah, but it's like, it's to another extreme.
Yeah, well, like, I will say the fact that they depict her as being so oblivious to his double life and, like, thinking that he's still this, like, frail little nerd boy, it kind of gets exhausting and
but that's what I mean.
And you stop buying it, yeah, for sure. But I'm pretty sure in the early 2000s, when they wrote the story where she finds out that Pete's Spider-Man, isn't it kind of revealed that, like,
she always know Peter?
And you're like, sure you did.
No, I know.
Sure.
It's like, so you just acted like a dick for the last, like, 60 years, dude. Thanks a lot. You just, like, made his life as stressful as possible for the last 60 years.
Yeah, just tell him.
I know. At this point, you know, some of the most iconic stories ever in the Spider-Man lore have to do with her being sick, especially in the OG 60s era. You know, we've talked about the If This Be My Destiny, that whole character arc.
Oh, that's
the Ditko. Dude, with, like, her being sick and him having to, like, push through his limits and absolute extremes to give her the cure to save her.
Yeah, and it gives you some great pathos in the story, but when you do that, like, 12 more times, it's just so repetitive and it gets really frustrating.
It's frustrating, and I think there's a difference now, especially in the modern era of Spider-Man comics, where the OG ones, whenever she was sick and Peter had to like push through in his personal or superhero life, it was in the betterment of his character and progressing it, you know, whether it's on the Spider-Man side or on the Peter side. And now it's just like Aunt May is just used for regression, I feel.
When you keep just using her ailments as, you know, an excuse to drive the story forward, it's just, I don't care anymore. We've retreaded this road so many times that it kind of feels like beating a dead horse at this point.
Yeah, specifically things like One More Day.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Where it just like cuts Peter's character in half.
Yes. So I think One More Day is kind of the whole crux of this video.
I think it's the most infamous comic of history.
It might be. So just to quickly recap, guys, back in Civil War, Spider-Man chose to unmask himself to the whole world, and it made everyone, including the supervillains, know who he is and who his relatives relatives are, and the Kingpin puts a hit out on Spider-Man, and like a sniper goes after him, but he ends up absolutely doming Aunt May.
It doesn't dome her, but it hits her in her side or something.
It's a sniper, bro. If it hits her anywhere, she's finished.
Oh, well, yeah, that part isn't realistic at all. Like, she would have been cut in half at her age too. Like, come on, man.
Anyway, she's dying in the hospital. Pete goes to like every character in the Marvel Universe asking for help. They all refuse him. They all just hammer this idea into his head that, dude, it's just her time, you know? Maybe let her go.
Yeah, he goes to like Reed Richards.
Goes to Reed Richards, Doctor Strange. He goes to freaking God.
I feel like almost like all those characters are the readers answering.
Yes.
Like, dude, it's time. You know what I mean? Like, let's let it go.
And his solution is to make a deal with the devil. He goes to Mephisto and he's like, please, just help my aunt. No one will help me. And he's like, oh, I'll help you, dude, but I want your marriage.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Okay. And obviously, because Pete can't let people go and he can't have more guilt on his conscience, he's like, oh, okay, I'll give you my marriage. And then Spider-Man's been downhill ever since.
It has. And it's frustrating too, because I feel like, especially her death in the Civil War storyline, could have been a great consequence to his actions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It could have reaffirmed the whole theme of great power, great responsibility. And it's like, you look at stories like that, and then you look at stories like the Insomniac Universe, and it's like, you know, we have our issues with Spider-Man 2,
Sure.
but like, I think we both stand firmly behind the first game in 2018.
It's one of my favorite Spider-Man stories of all time.
Definitely. And like the balls that Brian Enterhar had to freaking kill her off finally. Like,
It's incredible. It's literally him saying, no, here, I fixed one more day.
exactly.
He made the right choice here.
Exactly. I don't know, like, would Aunt May even want to be alive if she knew that
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, bro. Like,
Pete made a freaking deal with the devil as she's Christian?
But deliver us.
Like, come on, dude. This is not what she would want.
not at all, dude. I think we can absolutely trace everything bad that's happened with Spider-Man since to that moment, because it's the final nail in the coffin of Pete's character development. Because it's such an easy Spider-Man choice to make, you know? It would have been such a beautiful, tragic, and pivotal moment for his character if he could finally just let her go and then, you know, have a flourishing life with MJ. But they ultimately chose, no, we're actually just gonna make Pete regress forever.
I know. It's like...
It's the ultimate regression for his character.
Yeah, but she's still alive, and it's weird because I feel like Aunt May, like, it's almost created a resentment with the fans.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they see her, it's like, oh,
Dude, if you weren't here, we'd have a good, like, MJ and Pete.
exactly, you're the reason why our reading experience is miserable every week. You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know, it
goes back to that same obsession that Marvel Editorial always has, where they're like, no, when I was, like, 50 years ago, when I was reading Spider-Man, he had Aunt May and he worked at the Bugle. You know, that's what I know. And it's like, dude, he has to fucking grow.
I know, we can't keep doing this thing with Spider-Man where he grows and then regresses, like, one step forward, two step back, every single time.
Every single time. How many times is he gonna go back to being a teacher? How many times is he gonna, like, go to Jonah to take more pictures again? Like, how many times is Aunt May gonna get sick, bro?
Dude, the woman has freaking married Dr. Octopus. She's freaking gone with J. Jonah Jameson's dad.
Okay, guys, lads, let this sink in. And this is fairly recently, like, I'm pretty sure 21st century of Marvel Comics. Aunt May either got married or was gonna get married to J. Jonah Jameson's dad. Bro, she has to be 110.
No, literally, this guy, like, if he was a part of the Howling Commandos, I don't even know, dude. Like, this guy served in at least 2 wars.
First guy was in the Civil War.
No, literally. No, but, like, you know, we did a video a few weeks ago where we talked about, you know, the fact that DC killed off Alfred.
Yes.
And I feel like some people might comment or might say, like, oh, well, you guys, like, want Alfred to come back, but you don't want us to kill Aunt May?
Alfred and Aunt May are not the same,
It's not the same at all, because Alfred is, like, a key part of Batman's history and character, and you don't have a story with Batman without Alfred.
You don't. Like we said in our Alfred video, he's one of the quintessential parts of any Batman story. Aunt May is not. She used to be, for sure, but you don't need Aunt May bogging down the story and creating this, like, kind of like a ball and chain around Peter's ankle in each story, you know?
Exactly.
And also, Alfred's, like, not older than 65, bro. Aunt May is fucking...
No, she's getting up there.
Yeah. Is Wolverine older than Aunt May? I don't know.
That's so good. Yeah, Aunt May's secretly like a mutant. I think Aunt May's death is what Peter needs to move forward in his character development.
Okay, so dude, I have a question for you. If they were to write a story where everyone finds out about the Mephisto deal deal and Aunt May were to like offer her soul to Mephisto and then they would get the marriage back. Do you think that would like work? Or is it just too little too late at this point?
I don't know. That's just like such a terrible ending, I feel.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I feel like Aunt May's death should be tragic, but I think kind of like how the Insomniac verse did it, where it's tragic, but in a way it's almost like good for Peter. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like the door is closed and he can move forward in different aspects of his life. I'm just like, dude, I just feel like Mephisto, like part of the deal was Aunt May will never die also. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like the writers have balls, but in all the wrong places. It's like, you have to have serious freaking rock solid balls to do a story like this.
You have to have like adamantium balls to alienate your whole fan base like this, because people were so happy with Pete and MJ being married. It was so refreshing. It felt like we were in the second chapter of Peter's life. After all the school bullshit and girl drama and troubles and stuff like that, he's finally with MJ, and then they're like, no, we're gonna take it away, and like he's just gonna have like 6 girlfriends a year now in the comics, and you're just like, I don't care about that.
Yeah, and on the Aunt May side, it's kind of getting to a point where it's like the boy who cried wolf. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're telling me this freaking old lady can survive a sniper wound? A sniper bullet that's powerful enough to kill Spider-Man?
Dude, in Marvel Knights Spider-Man, Norman orchestrates this whole plan. Aunt May goes missing for 6 months. Pete finds out at the end that Norman was keeping her buried next to Uncle Ben, pretty much. And like she was on life support with like a waste collection thing and stuff. And you're just like, what the fuck are you guys doing to this woman?
No, dude, like, is death not better than
What does Pete explain to her? You know?
I know. And it's just like whenever they inevitably make her get sick again or, you know, have a hospital visit, it's just gonna be like a page skipper. You know, it's like, okay, Aunt May's sick again. What else is new?
Well, like, I don't care because she's not gonna die.
Exactly.
She's fine. Like, I just can't believe she's alive and Alfred's not.
I know. There's no justice in this world. There's absolutely no
one stays good in this world. But guys, that's just our opinion. Let us know if you agree or if you think we're, you know, insane, sadistic comic book readers. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.
We love you dearly.
We love you very much.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.